Welcome, everybody to False Nine on this special Wednesday show. My name is Brian Garcia. I'm your host, and I am here with the star of the show, Mr. Mark Gonzalez. How are you today?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Glad to hear that. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit that like button. Uh, when you subscribe, you'll get notifications of when we go live. We'll go ahead and dive in. First things first. Saturday. Oh my God.
Yeah,
5-0 versus our heated rivals. But
he and a
not
rival,
not that day.
everything, everything.
Not that day though.
No, little brothers that day. Little brothers, man. Like that was a performance and a half by the squad.
From the start.
Yeah,
I
no,
think we
no.
got
It it, it, it was
the
it was
first
it was from
goal.
the start. We pressed them. We turned them over. It was just front foot all the way through.
That
Put
first goal was what,
all
four,
gas,
seven
no
minutes
brakes.
in?
4 minutes in, they turned the ball over. Luis Suarez, get the deflection. He goes to Messi. Messi out wide to Gressel. Gressel squares it. Luis Suarez one time near post, no chance.
Now, we scored 2 goals in 11 minutes. Now, I'll take you back to last show. You stated that you were real disappointed with Julian Gressel's performances.
I was
Explain to me how this man came back and gave you the performance of a lifetime.
man. He really did a full 180 with that, performance. Um, full 360. Man. But here's where he's better at. He was better out wide. Like that first ball he played to Suarez, he was out wide. Like he intercepted it,
I
but he
mentioned
drifted out
that.
wide. He drifted out wide, was able to give that ball with some pace on it. Suarez, all he had to do was put his foot on it, it's going in the goal. And he did that.
Now, go ahead.
No, no, no. You go.
So, okay, here's what I saw. You were right, Gressel's out wide. Now, Suarez one timed it into the net. Beautiful goal. Was that pass for Suarez, or do you think it was intended for Messi trailing on the play and Suarez just said, you know what, bro, it's here, take it?
No, I think it was for Suarez because
Okay.
any softer and Suarez can get the pace on that ball to get it past the keeper near post there. Any slower than Suarez might have to take a touch around the defender. That was for Suarez. That was for Suarez to get, hey, I'm here. Let's start rolling.
Okay. Okay. And then that second one, Gressel played that sweet ball over the top.
It
And
was just it was a Robbie Taylor starts it out left, passes it to Suarez. Suarez drops his shoulder, takes a defender inside. Ball gets, rebounds into Gressel's way. Suarez makes that running behind the defenders. It's just a little dink pass over the top. One touch with left foot, across the frame of goal, no chance. 2-0 inside 11.
yeah, so in that one, I was like, it was more of a technically gifted goal than it was a playmaker goal. The ability to grab that dink pass over the top and just the ability to play with the ball at your feet, first touch, set it up, and then that left-footed heater into the net. It was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was genuinely impressed with those
yeah.
those first 11 minutes.
And that's what we need Suarez to do. Make those runs at those moments, not, him expending, like just wasting his energy going after a long ball, after balls in the corner or something. No, those are the runs that he's the best at. And, class is permanent for him. Like his finishing is always going to be permanent. One of the greatest strikers of the generation, his time, the goals are going to come. I'm sure of it. He just needs to stay healthy.
Now, here's something that I was afraid of and I liked. If when the U.S. men's national team had this habit, and it happened a ton against Mexico, you'd score the first goal. One of the best examples I remember was, oh my god, um, little short black dude attacker, Charlie Davies.
Okay.
We're in Azteca. Charlie
Okay.
Davies scores that first goal, and what do? Park the bus. When we scored that first goal in the first 4 minutes, I was like, we have won.
Hmm.
Please don't sit back and park the bus. Then we get the second goal. and I'm like, okay, we have a second goal. Natural. Uh, hey Jay, thanks for joining us.
Thanks
Uh,
for watching, buddy.
so we go and get that second goal, and I think, okay, this is it. We're gonna sit back. We're gonna take it slow. But I was genuinely surprised and impressed. We didn't. We just kept. We
I
kept
mean,
going at.
and that's Orlando had a bad game plan. They really didn't capitalize on what they wanted to do. Credit to our back line for shutting it down. They played a solid game. Freire gets that start next to Avilas. I thought they were fantastic, the both of them. But it just goes to, you make mistakes against Inter Miami and you're gonna pay. Russell found Suarez again for that third goal. Uh, Suarez makes a great run off the center
The
back.
offside
They
one,
tried.
or
No, 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 no. They tried to get him offside, but he squares it across goal for Taylor to score.
okay,
It was the third
yes,
goal. I mean, it was just picking the ball off there, off their mistakes and stuff like that. Orlando just, totally fell flat on its face, and
yeah.
we
So
just took advantage of it. And
yeah,
that's
that
what we need
first,
to do to teams. You can't stop. You have the quality of the attack. You got to keep going for it.
yeah, that first half ended, and it almost felt like Orlando City got punched in the mouth and
Hmm.
had no idea what happened to them.
Hmm.
They come out in that second half, and it looks like they're going to try to put us under pressure, press us, and then boom.
No, I mean, yeah. 50 something minute, I believe. Alba picks up the ball deep in his half, dribbles the length of the field, 1-2 with Suarez, chips it. Jacobson, or I think not Jacobson, their center back makes a crazy clearance on the line. It deflects onto Messi's chest. The guy's holding him back, and he scores. How we scored that goal? Don't know. We scored it, but
He's
I
the
mean,
goat.
they. Yes, I know he is what he is, but just like the there was no fight from Orlando. Jordi Alba picked up the ball and untouched, like Marcelo against Bayern Munich in the Champions League one year, untouched to the penalty box and playing a 1-2 and gets a shot off. And that's just the hunger that this team showed in that game because it's a rivalry game. They're at home. It's against a team that we mentioned last year. I mean, we mentioned in the previous show that last year, kind of, said, "Hey, we're here in the Leagues Cup. It's not gonna be so easy." So
Yeah,
Inter Miami kind of, okay, we're going to show them what we're all about. And, surely enough, they did.
yeah. Last year they were like, "We don't care, you're Messi and friends," and they tried to bully ball us
Yeah,
all
now
game
now
long.
this
They were
year,
super
they
physical.
might need to rethink that.
Yeah. So you mentioned our backline and
Hmm.
Freire debut. Um, you know, of course, Super Calendar. I don't have the graphic again this time, but Super Calendar came, clean sheet.
I mean,
And that backline you had said it was
yeah,
one of our concerns coming into the season, and they've impressed all season long so far.
yeah, they truly have. I mean, Freire gives you a little more pace than Christoph, but he's a solid center back, man. Left-footed center back. It's just a, he shows quality. He can play, um, good under pressure. Not making mistakes, that first game and stuff like that. So it was good to get that first game out of the way, especially against an Orlando team that, a lot of the MLS media and, you know, pundits say that, they're a shoe in for the supporter shield. So, and for us to put five past them, keep a clean sheet, says a lot about this team, where we are right now in the season and going forward.
Now, scoreline aside, do
Mhm.
you think this is the best game that Inter Miami has played?
Uh, this game and last year in the Lamar Hunt Open Cup against Philly away at Philly was, I would say, the best two games that I've seen them play with Messi.
Hey, Giovanni, thanks for joining us. Thanks
G.
for commenting. Okay, so I'll tell you this. The scoreline was amazing. 5-0. I mean, you couldn't ask for more.
Mhm.
But I think that the best game Inter Miami played so far was the LA Galaxy game. And I'll tell you why.
Interesting.
They were in Orlando shoes in that game. They were getting punched in the mouth. They were getting repeatedly attacked. It they were getting just slugfest in the corner, getting punched, and they fought back. They punched back. And I feel like a a play like that, a game like that. Thanks for the comment, Eric. A game like that sets up something like this because it allows your team to almost say, "That's fine if we get punched, and it's okay if we absorb pressure because the backline hasn't pressed, like you said. Calendar's back there, and then I feel like you almost play more freer. It allows you to um, kind of be more creative
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. Oh, I guess popcorn yellow striped smile from Jay.
All right, man. Popcorn yellow striped smile for Jay.
Oh, Alex says it's okay to get excited about these results so far, or do we need to pump the brakes? That's a good question.
It is a good question. Given how we've started the last couple seasons, yeah, you can get excited, but what you really want to look for is consistency with game in, game out. Can we continue to produce quality first half, quality second half, capitalize and defend? And there's nothing that tells me that we can't. So it's just being consistent. Tata with his squad rotations going forward is going to be very, very important to the success of this team. But I don't think there's a need to pump the brakes. I mean, we played three quality opponents, three teams that I believe are going to be in the playoff mix come the end of the season. And, conceding one goal out of three, being top of the league, top of the table right now in the East with 7 points, we can get excited about that.
Now, you said you wanted consistency,
Hmm.
and I'll throw this out there. More important than consistency, and Tata has a ton to do with this, is health more important than consistency during
I mean,
the duration of the season?
in order for us to be consistent, we need to stay healthy. So he
Okay.
needs to find that happy medium, and that gives him, that we're not totally folding over a game, to say the least. But we're giving, everyone, from Leagues Cup games to CCC games to league games, a good run in to keep a consistent form and a consistent chemistry needed to go forward.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you something that I had a little bit of a beef with during this Orlando game. Now, Suarez comes off.
Hmm.
Great. Perfect. It's 5-0. Why is Messi finishing a game? That is
Well,
something that I was like, why is he still in there? What?
so I saw on Twitter. I was, through my Inter Miami and all that stuff.
Alex says health is always first. Only downfall is all the tourneys we have going on. That's another good point.
I mean, yeah, you have to stay healthy. That's where the rotation comes into play.
Can you guys hear me? It looks like I'm having a little bit of trouble here.
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm just frozen.
You're just frozen.
Okay, not a problem. We'll go ahead and push through a little bit of these technical difficulties.
All
So
right.
you were saying?
Um, I was saying, yeah, he's right with health. We have a lot of guys that need to take some breaks at times. So in order for us to like stay fit, rotation is going to be a key part. So that health, that our health as a whole squad needs to be in the top priority going forward.
Okay. Now, there's been a ton of news in terms of the Inter Miami just moves that they've made, that roster shuffle.
Hmm.
Um, we transfer Jean Mota out to
Yep.
Brazil to Vitoria.
Hmm.
We acquire a free agent in
Hmm.
Matias Rojas,
Hmm.
and then we trade a almost an Inter Miami staple in DeAndre Yedlin to Cincinnati for what seems to me a paltry amount of um, of money.
JM. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the moves?
Man, that Jean Mota one, I felt it coming. It was only a matter of time just because how expendable he became with the emergence of, Cremaschi, the emergence of Diego Gomez, bringing in Redondo, um, Lawson Sunderland, just that midfield is just so deep that, clearing his cap and his money was something that Chris Henderson viewed as something that needed to be done in order for us to keep building. So that's the reason for that move there.
Okay, now Jean Mota was more of an attacking mid, correct?
Jean Mota was an 8. He really wasn't. He wasn't a true 6. He wasn't a 10. He was an 8. He's a box to box mid.
Okay, so we grab Matias Rojas. He's an
Mhm.
attacking mid,
He's
and then
attacking mid winger. Yeah.
we trade away DeAndre Yedlin. Now,
Mhm.
earlier in the season, when we did our season preview, we spoke about how thin we were in the back.
Mhm.
Now, this move, the trading DeAndre Yedlin to FC Cincinnati, there has to be another move coming, correct? There has to be
I mean,
something.
I would think so. I would almost bank on that being a right back move that we make at some point. You have Sergio Roberto's name being floated out there, because of the Messi and Barcelona connection. So it wouldn't surprise me if that happens at some point. We had spoken about Escobar, the right back from Houston Dynamo, being a
Right.
possibility. There was no deal in place or anything like that. There was just interest in him. So
Well,
we don't know where.
there was a formal offer made,
There,
correct?
there was there was no formal agreement or formal. They had made an offer, but there was no formal agreement
Okay.
by anyone.
Okay. So
So
um with DeAndre Yedlin leaving,
mhm.
who takes the place?
uh, Julian Gressel, he's played at right wing back, or right back at times. So putting him back there, I think makes sense, especially with Redondo coming in and being more of that midfielder than Gressel is. I believe Gressel gets that nod at right back. And we're just gonna have to see with Ian Frey and Franco Negri, two guys, recovering from ACL injury, how far along they are in their recovery process, in the rehab process, because they can play out wide at times. We're just gonna have to see where that goes. But for right now, I think Julian Gressel is gonna be a shoe-in for that right back position.
Alex Sanchez says Suarez shut us up. Suarez shut us up. All the bad mouthing we did last week, the old man bald.
I mean, I never said he was bad or anything. I just said he needs to, figure out his knees and his healthy in order for him to produce for us. I did say Campana should start. That was all health related, and given that Suarez, his movement wasn't the best those first two games. I still stood by Campana starting, but he did shut a lot of people up with those two goals and those two assists. I mean, the guy, if he's healthy and can make those runs and stuff like that and finish like that, it's gonna be fun.
Okay, so now that we've kind of gone over all the moves and all the shuffle, we move on to um, tomorrow. And the reason why we have a Wednesday show is because tomorrow Inter Miami plays its first game in the CCC.
Mhm.
Now the CONCACAF Champions Cup. You know, us making our debut here. How did we get here?
By beating the opponent tomorrow. We beat Nashville in the Leagues Cup last year. That's how we qualified for the round of 16 in this cup. So it's a familiar opponent away as well. They are missing Hani Mukhtar. He is possibly questionable for that game. He's their best player, one of the best players in the MLS. So if he doesn't play, look for Miami to jump on Nashville and really go for it.
Okay, now they sold us the Leagues Cup last year as a premier tournament, right? Now this CONCACAF Champions Cup, what would be the equivalent um, to this tournament in terms of prestige, panache? Like what would you equate it to in Europe?
I, I'm gonna into Europe. Huh.
Like is this the CONCACAF version of the Champions League, basically?
I mean, yes, I would say you got some of the best teams in the MLS, some of the best teams in Liga MX. Um, those Central American teams. In a way, yes, but I would say this cup means more than the League's Cup. The League's Cup is just to me, it's just a money grab that was made up last year and stuff like that. We don't need to play in it, so I would say this cup means a little more.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask this question, and this is not a now question. This is just something that's kind of been thrown around in my head. Now we know that in South America we have the Conmebol, correct?
Hmm.
And they have, I believe it's called Copa Libertadores, right?
Yes.
Do you see at some point making it a hemisphere thing and just having a Champions League type qualification, Champions League type tournament, um, where you have the entire hemisphere involved.
If it's a money thing, it'll get done at some point. But for the next 2 years, I probably do not see that.
Okay, just because I know that there's so much soccer being played in South America. There's such a culture that can only be beneficial for the league, for MLS, for Liga MX, for you know the the league infrastructures may be somewhat lacking, but I feel like that culture can only help soccer here in the United States as a whole. So I wanted to run that one by to see what your
Yeah.
thoughts were.
I mean, eventually, I think it might happen. I just don't see it with the mess that MLS has on its hands right now. Not this year, probably not next year either.
Okay. Now you had mentioned that tomorrow we play the opponent we beat to win the Leagues Cup last year.
Mhm.
What are your keys? What do you think Inter Miami needs to do in order to come out with some type of result? Because it's if it's the format would be two legs, correct?
Yes.
And then this one is in Nashville.
Mhm.
So what do we need to get a result, whether it be a draw or a win?
You just gotta play solid. Play to your strengths. They usually play a three back, and they have Walker Zimmerman and Lucas McNaughton as their central defense, as their two of their three defenders back there. If we can take advantage of those guys, let Messi make runs at them, Suarez make runs at them, Taylor make runs at them, and put them in a bad position and bad defending areas, and we capitalize, and that's what we need to do. If they're playing without Hani Mukhtar, we need to make it as difficult as possible as for their midfielders, Yearwood and Lovitz, and those guys. Make it as difficult as possible for them to get forward and find a Tyler Boyd or Jacob Schaffelberg or any of those guys up front. Overload their midfield this time and just make them play on the back foot.
So what you're saying is basically disrespect their attack and just overload the midfield so that they have no shot of going forward.
Yeah, yeah. Because without Hani Mukhtar, their team is pretty much stuck. He's the engine that makes it go. He's their guy. If he doesn't play, we gotta go.
Now you said that Nashville has started slow, due to the not having Mukhtar.
Hmm.
Um, do you think that if he doesn't play that it continues? Or you think that they kind of get their
I
stuff
mean,
together, considering the magnitude of the game? Kind of like do
it,
they
it,
play up to the game, up to the moment?
it's that he just does so much for that team. Whether it's pulling the strings in the midfield or finishing chances on the attacking the final third, set pieces, delivering the final ball. He just does so much that they really can't replace him or finding guys to replace him. So they might struggle again going forward. So you need to control that midfield. Not let runs get in behind our center backs, and we need to, the way we played in that Orlando game, just play it again.
So you are what are you expecting from Miami? Are you expecting an Orlando City type performance when they go up against Cincinnati?
With Cincinnati,
I'm I'm
Nashville.
sorry, against Nashville. I apologize.
Yeah, why not? I mean, we have the quality. There's no reason not to. Like, you take every opponent, the same way. You go out and you want to beat them and by as much as possible. You're in this cup. Why not go win it?
I feel like that's the same approach they had in the Leagues Cup, especially with
Yeah,
Messi coming on board. It was almost like his coming out party. His
and now, I mean, granted, you may get a rotation tomorrow, a squad rotation. Messi might not start, Messi might not play, or Suarez might not start, Suarez might not play. But you still have the quality in Campana and a couple guys to come in there and beat a Nashville team without their best player if he doesn't play.
so okay, and this is just a thought. If you're going to do that, why not play Messi, Suarez? Play this your strongest version of your team in Nashville, get a result, and then allow your
Other
depth
guys to play at
play
home.
at home because they'd be more comfortable. Is it a money grab thing? Is it a you can't leave Messi off the roster at home? Is it a you know
I mean,
because that would be
I
my approach.
no, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
go on the
yeah.
road,
I get
get a
you.
result, and then be more comfortable at home.
Yeah, I think it's just how many games we're going to be playing in the next 10 days. I think it's 4 in the next 10. It's got to be very important when we play those guys. Uh, I would, if Messi says he's fit to go tomorrow and he's good, you play him tomorrow. You may not start him against, Montreal and you bring him on in the last 45 or in the last 35. So be it. But, I think Suarez could use a day, a game off to say the least.
You don't
And be
ride
ready.
his
I mean,
heater from last game.
you it's just hard, man, because his knees are bad, and we know that. We just don't want to push it. I know he's on a heater with those 2 goals, but um, you know we also have the MLS game on Sunday. So if we can find a good balance with him and Campana for those 2 games, it'd be good. It'd be good. It'd be very very good for the team going forward. Maybe Campana starts tomorrow. Suarez gets a run in maybe 35 minutes at the end, or vice versa.
Okay. So what's your prediction? Well, what do you see happening?
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Uh, I like us to win, honestly. Um, I know score prediction, I'll give you a 2-0.
Does Calendar get a clean sheet? Because Super Calendar is on my mind.
Their attack right now doesn't scare me, to be honest. That Nashville attack really doesn't, scream at me like it should, or like it has in the past. I'm not really scared of a Tyler Boyd or Schaufelberg or any of those guys, to be honest. I mean, I can see Calgary getting another clean sheet. Yeah.
So how many goals do you see us scoring then? If it's going to be a nil result,
I mean, they scored 5 last game. I'm not gonna say 6. I'm not gonna say 7. I can let's go out there. Let's get a 2-0, 2-1 win. One of those two, and I'm happy.
I think it'll be 2-0 as well. For a second there, I thought you were gonna go into the Miami Heat era with the big
No,
three, one,
no, no,
not two,
no. I'm
not
not. I'm not
three.
counting those yet. No.
Now after today's game, I know we don't come back until Thursday of next week.
Hmm.
We have Montreal. Now I
Hmm.
feel that Montreal is almost Inter Miami North or former
Hmm.
Inter Miami North. Um, they have so many of former Inter Miami players.
Hmm.
Uh, the biggest one being Joseph Martinez. Um, what do you think about Joseph being on Montreal?
Uh, it's a change of scenery for him. Probably a new start.
Another
Um,
one? Because
yeah,
we thought change of scenery coming down here was from Atlanta United.
yeah, and we were wrong. Um, he's there in Montreal. I believe he scored already in 1 game. Hasn't started yet. Um, but trying to get his old legs back is what I'm guessing he's looking for. Playing along. Bryce Duke is there, a former Inter Miami guy. Ariel Lassiter on the as a wingback is there. A lot of Inter Miami guys on that team. Um, you know, they won one, drawn one. Their recent game they won 2-1 at Dallas. So they're coming off a win in the MLS. So it'd be good to get a win on Sunday against them.
Do you think the former Herons or Inter Miami North, do you think there's a revenge game in them where they just come
Mm.
out and just play out of their minds?
I don't think so. I don't foresee that happening.
Okay, I guess we are we are not concerned with Montreal
I
or
I
and
mean,
due to injury, Nashville either during this streak of games that were
no, these are 2 very winnable games for Inter Miami.
okay. So what does Miami need to do? We talked about what they need to do in terms of getting a result because we're hoping for a win, but just get a result in the
Yeah.
CCC game. What do they need to do to get 3 points? Because I feel like a win is the expectation with Montreal. What is it they need to do to get that win?
Quick, yeah, I'll get to that real quick. Can you see the comments or no?
I can't. If you
Okay,
are,
so
if
I
you can,
can. I'm gonna answer two of them that deal
can
with the
you
same
bring them
thing.
on screen? Can you click on them?
Can I click on them? I can
Yeah,
click on them, but nothing happens.
it doesn't come on screen.
No.
Okay, so go ahead and
So
just shout out the name and your question.
one of them was from Jordan, who said, "Looking forward to playing that diamond in the midfield again. Seems like it gives us the best of both worlds, offensively and defensively." And I could not agree more. It's actually something that we or he had mentioned to me prior to the Orlando game. Um, Playing Messi as a 10 with a diamond behind, with three midfielders behind him in a diamond formation, you know, and having Taylor and Suarez up top, and Messi playing almost that false nine, picking up the ball, that 10 role there, which worked for us fantastically. We saw Gressel taking up space and getting wide at times. We were Gomez up and down the pitch, Suarez finishing, Taylor, making those runs in. So I do think that formation, especially with that diamond in the middle, gives us the best balance going forward. And now, especially with Redondo, who can play that true six, can give Busquets a little more freedom at times, getting a little deeper into the opposition half.
Okay, so you mentioned this diamond formation, and you
Hmm.
said that is that something they've been doing all season long, or is that something that
No,
you kind of
this is
saw
the
in the
this is
Orlando
the
game?
first time I had really seen the diamond formation come out. We naturally, truly have only been in a 4-3-3 or a five back at times. So this was something new. Um, I think we may have tried that diamond formation once with Neville when we had Higuain and Campana start at the same time, and it just really didn't work because of the personnel and stuff. But now you have the personnel to do it, so it's something that we can see going forward, and
Okay,
and and like and having that control of the midfield is important for us. Not to get overloaded, not to spring counterattacks from the midfield. Make sure their best players are in check. Putting bodies on them and making it difficult for them.
so this is something that you anticipate seeing tomorrow as well.
Um, yeah, I could see it tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay, and do you? Okay, so now that you've mentioned that, right now we've kind of sprung it, we've kind of brought it out for the world to see, right?
Mhm,
That that diamond formation you speak about. Do you think that it being on film
mhm.
would give Nashville an advantage in seeing it?
No, Nashville plays a three-back formation from what I saw. I don't think they don't have the quality of players to disrupt Miami in the midfield right now. And going off another comment that Jordan had just made, it, it giving Busquets legs around him, to run for him, to cover for him, he can't do it anymore is very, very important, because he can pass the ball, he can get, pick those spaces, in between center backs and outside backs and play those long balls, those balls on the ground that get to our wingers and stuff like that, ball into Messi and stuff like that. So having players to cover for him and not asking him to defend the entirety of the midfield and also go forward is big.
See, yeah, I agree with you there. I feel that when Sergio Busquets plays, he's more. Although Messi is the conductor in terms of the scoring, I feel like Sergio Busquets is the conductor to put everybody in the midfield in positions to help Messi out.
Mhm.
If you can give him help in terms of putting out fires defensively, it would allow him to flourish in terms of distribution aspect um, in the game. And I feel that his technical ability in terms of passing the ball gives us the best ability to go forward and score. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on that?
No, no, I agree. Giving him the least amount of responsibility, tracking back to say the least.
Not to say he's bad at it,
No, 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 nothing. But he
but
can't
he's
do it
old.
he can't do it at the quality he used to do it. So ask him to track back all the way back and go forward and pick up the ball and find Messi and find this. No, it gets tiring for him. So having those legs around him is only going to help him.
Okay, so now that thanks Jordan for the comments. We appreciate it. Excellent analysis, and that's the kind of banter we want from fans. This is the kind of interaction that we ask. Although there's a little bit of a technical difficulty in terms of apparently it's my connection this time. I
Yeah,
apologize.
yep.
Yeah, I apologize. Just kind of a change of scenery for me. So a little bit of a technical difficulty, but this is the kind of thing that we want from fans. Please ask questions, please comment. Where you guys see the games too, and that's what we want this to be, a forum where there's fan interaction. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. There's fan interaction. Uh, you know, there. I'm going to. Oh, I.
Oh,
It
you're back.
appears. Oh, I'm back. It appears that what we want is. Let me let me do this. Here we go. It it appears that Eric Rivera asks,
Ah,
should I bet
anytime goal
Messi?
score? Bro, sprinkle a little something on that if you want. Why not? You know, he's probably gonna be a fan favorite. A lot of people probably bet on him anytime goal scorer, so sprinkle a little something if you want.
Yeah. So
Just gotta check the lineups before the game. Make sure he's starting, make sure he's gonna play and stuff like that.
yeah. So we were. There's going to be a lot of ways that are in the works right now for fans to be a part of this show, a part of this forum. At the end of the day, this is for us, Heron Pinks, everybody to come together to go ahead and have a place where we meet every week and we discuss and talk about Inter Miami. At the end, we're all Pinks fans, so I feel like this is a great place. Um, and now that I'm back, I can give comments and uh, put comments back up and kind of steer the show a little bit better. But going back to Montreal, what do you think we need to do in order to get 3 points? Because, like I said, this has win written all over it.
Yeah, it really does. We have another team that plays a three back. Just got to be careful with their wingers, especially Ruan, who played at Orlando City, and Ariel Lassiter, just because of their pace and how they use it and how it gives us trouble. Just keep those guys in check. Um, you know, I'm not sure Ruan's going to be scoring, boatloads of goals. Neither is Lassiter, but their pace is what they have and what they're going to use. So keep those guys in check. And just be consistent and be on the same wavelength when we play. Solid back line, good defending, good communication. Calendar. You hasn't didn't really do a lot in that Orlando game to say the least, but that's good. We always want that. When the keeper does nothing, it's good. Um,
Absolutely.
and our attack just keep rolling. Just build on that momentum from the Orlando game and what we have tomorrow and see how we play.
Now we come back on Thursday. We come back on the 14th. Inter Miami will have played their second leg against Nashville. They played that Wednesday. It
Mhm.
was slated for 2 p.m., but that was a complete
Yeah,
typo.
no, no.
It's
Mhm.
at 8:15 start here at Chase Stadium. Chase Stadium is called.
Chase Stadium.
Okay, yeah. I don't know if it was Chase Park or Chase Stadium.
No,
Chase
Chase
Stadium.
Stadium.
Um, what do you think we advance? I know that you said that you see a win. Do you think we get enough of a result in both games to advance in the CCC tournament?
Yeah, I could see us advancing in the CCC. It's I think we have the quality to do so. That goes without saying. We have a deep team. Um, it's just about getting that rotation correct for Tata. Not overthinking it. Giving rest to those guys that need rest, and just those guys or those 11 that are on the field just produce. You need to produce to win, especially if the opposing team's best player is not playing. Take advantage, full advantage.
Now, you had mentioned Gressel possibly playing in the back, but as you know, we love stubborn Tata.
Hmm.
Is there a chance that you see a young guy taking a spot at right back? Maybe Noah Allen?
Yeah, yeah. Noah Allen probably can do that. He had played right back once or twice for us, but I can see him doing that again.
I know he's primarily a left back, but with
But
Jordi Alba
yeah,
there,
I
there's
mean,
no way he's playing
I've
there.
seen
So
I've seen Robert Taylor play right back. It's not out of the equation to put you know Noah Allen at left back. I could see Toto at right back as well, and put in Noah Allen at center back or Christoph to start with Ryan
Frey,
Saylor or something like that. Yeah, we also we have a lot of, I don't want to say depth, but there's options for Tata in that right back position that he can mess around with.
Do you think that Toto has the discipline to play on out wide? I know that he can be reckless at times in the middle, especially with his slide tackles. Do you think he's got the
Mhm.
discipline to play out there?
Um, I think he does. I think he's matured a lot. I can see it in the first 3 games already. Um, he's just gonna have to be smart of when he, picking and choosing his time to go forward, and coming back on defense and stuff like that. But I think he has the discipline to play out there.
Now we scored 5 against Orlando, so we're coming off of a high almost.
Mhm.
Do you feel, or do you see maybe Miami getting a little bit overconfident and maybe being too heavy on their front foot in terms of trying to get forward and maybe getting caught a few times this game? I know that counterattacks were our biggest concern at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, it's always that worry that we throw so many out in the attacking third, and it's one guy running back with the two center backs and stuff like that. That's always an issue. It has been in the past. But you'd like to think that with the new personnel coming in to the team, that we're able to control that and possess the ball long enough and not give up those turnovers going forward. That puts our back line in a race with the other team's attack. Um, it's just something that comes down. It's going to come down to being consistent and being tactically sound and not forcing the ball somewhere to limit those turnovers. That's what it's going to come down to. Do not force the ball. Keep possession. Recycle the ball if you have to. Keep it moving, left to right, big switch. Play little triangles. Keep them as far away from the ball as possible.
If Redondo plays tomorrow, how big of an
Mhm.
impact do you think he's going to have?
Uh,
Do you think he starts?
that's
Or you think comes out as a sub?
man. I think he event. Man. If Russell starts at right back, he may start in the midfield or David Ruiz starts in the midfield. Um, he may not start his first game. He may come on in relief of a Busquets probably or David Ruiz or one of those guys in the second half. But you'll see some of his quality tomorrow. I don't know how much he's gonna play, but you'll see some little bits and pieces of him.
You think he flashes and we'll see glimpses tomorrow? If he plays, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. He's young enough to have those legs and to make to really stand out. In a team where there's some old heads in there and stuff like that. So to really stand out, I think he can do that, given the amount of time he plays.
Okay. So there you have it, guys. We have, I think it was 2-0 against Nashville. A
2-0
prediction,
to 1 against Nashville, yeah.
and then your prediction for Montreal.
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the return leg for Nashville, what do you see?
Mm. I can go, yeah. I can go 1-1, 1-0, 0-0 maybe. I don't know. That return leg's always tough, but we're at home. I'll give us the benefit of the doubt. I'll give us a 1-0 lead. No, 1-0 win.
Okay,
And we
so
went 3-0 on aggregate, 3-1 on aggregate, whichever one of those.
okay, that's I'll take that any day of the week.
Man, yeah, I'm riding the wave right now. We're winning. We're playing good. Our back line's been solid. So keep the momentum going.
Yeah,
This is the
so
team. This
Alex
is the
Sanchez
team.
says
Yeah.
that Inter Miami wins both games. Both
Is he
games
talking
of the
about both
CCC
games?
or both games this weekend.
He probably means this weekend. He might win all three. Hmm.
And as Alex was mentioning earlier, is it okay to get excited, or do we need to pump the brakes? You
No,
say
get excited.
get excited,
Get excited. Yeah, I was excited 2 games after 2 games last season, and then I was
and then
quickly humbled
increase
by
it.
the yeah, and then I was like, wow.
Oh, you see, I like this comment. Clean sheet for Byron's MVP. Super calendar. You know that's my boy right there
If he
making
has
an
two
appearance
clean
on the
sheets,
show.
If he has 2 clean sheets, you bring him back. You bring him back.
Bring who back?
The little picture of Super
Oh,
Calendar. I need him back.
he locked and loaded. If you ask for it, it'll be ready. Super
Bring him
calendar.
back.
Super calendar will be on every show. I'm gonna make him a little square down here on the right. We'll just be accompanied by Super calendar
Undefeated
all
season.
so
They said
long.
it now. This kind of undefeated season. Here we go.
Well, I think that's a little much to ask,
No,
given a little bit of the struggles that we saw with some tired legs in terms of George. Everyone's piling on now.
yeah, no, I know.
Hold
I
on.
mean, we can go. We all we have to do is draw every game from here on out, and we're invincible.
Well, undefeated,
League
yes,
game,
means
league
straw.
game,
So I can be on
invincible.
board with that.
That Arsenal team, they drew 12 games. Sure, they were invincible, but whatever.
All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. If you like the show and you know friends and family that might like the show, please share, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. Please interact with us as much as you want on Instagram, as much as you want on Twitter. We'll try to be on there and interact as much as possible. Like I said, we're in the works for doing a lot of interactive stuff with you guys. So we appreciate the show. We appreciate you guys sticking with us through technical difficulties. And go Inter Miami, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
See you guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.